Good evening. Happy Sunday. It's freaking cold in Texas again, so you know it's February. We're going to get started here in just a minute, guys. Thanks for joining tonight. Oh, 45's in there. Showing the Frank symbol. But, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for joining tonight. Ham Radio 2.0 Sunday night live stream. It is 7 o'clock in Texas, so I appreciate everyone joining us tonight. TC Fitz with the super chat right off of the bat. Look at that. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. $10. That's going to go towards what the first thing I'm going to talk about here, which is the giveaways radio. Patrick, are you talking about my event? Or are you talking about any event? Because yeah, we're going to be going to the More Expo in April. I think they moved it back a week. It's like the last weekend in April this year. It was the third weekend last year. I think it was the fourth weekend, I think. But anyway, we're going to the More Expo. That's the next overlanding event that I'll be going to. And there would be probably 7, 8, 9 people going with me. So we had a good group there last year. Lots of fun. We're definitely going to go back. So that's what the next one is doing there. So thanks for joining tonight, buddy. Appreciate you being out there. Special shout out to folks in the green text in the chat. Folks with green text in the chat, which you can't see on my screen, but if you look at the YouTube chat, you can see that. Grayman Poda's in there. What's up, Tim? I saw AC3IK Ed in there earlier. Vic Miller's in there. Jeremy. Tom WB7 OUT. Let's see. Of course, Dark Side Overland's in there. Thanks for being there, Patrick. Todd KJ7JHH. Phil W0RHP. Thank you for joining us tonight. Michael, KD8GIJ. Cooley, thanks for joining. Let's see. Frederick Strickland, thanks for joining. Jeff, AA4BC. GFO Dale. TC Fitz, of course. Thanks for being in here, man. Thanks for committing. Jeff, Lee, W4CPU. K. Ensman, thanks, guys. Thanks for the support of the channel, and thank you for joining. So, if you haven't seen it yet, we are giving away radios for the first few months of the year. I don't know how many months I'm going to do this. At least 3. We gave away an 891 it was actually about 2 weeks ago. It was the first weekend of, it was the first Sunday of February. This time in February, that was the January giveaway, but we did it the first Sunday of February. This time for February, we're giving away a brand new IC705. Brand new IC705. The URL, which, Frank, I'm not sure if you have that or not, but it's hamradio2.com/February 25. And I'll see, yeah, there it is right there. Let me grab that real quick and put that in the chat. You guys go sign up for that. I'm probably going to do that giveaway live stream because I think I'm going to be out next Sunday. It's up in the air right now, but I think I'm going to be out next Sunday, so I might do a Monday night live stream like the day after that. So, but I'll let you guys know for sure. I'll share that with everybody where the cutoff is for that. We're going to give away an IC705. You want to know something that's really fun? Well, not fun, but ironic. You want to know something that's really kind of ironic and disheartening a little bit? Not one person from the giveaway last month has claimed their prize yet. So, if you won the 891 or the Devo Slide or one of the coffee packages last month, you need to contact me. And I've emailed you. That was the night before I left for Hamcation, so I went to Hamcation, drove out there, spent a week on the road for Hamcation, came back and emailed everybody. So it was about a week later. Gave everyone a chance to do Team Replay on the live stream, and no one has. One guy replied to me, and I'm waiting on his coffee selection, but no one has claimed the 891. The winner of the 891 I have not been in contact with, and the winner of the Devil Slide I have not been in contact with. So hopefully we will see that soon. So if you are that person, please contact me. I put some new mystery boxes up on the channel Friday. And one guy jumped on it immediately. It was not Andy, 80 AM, so AA0 AM. Yeah, it wasn't him because he usually jumps on it pretty quick, but somebody else did. So sent those out, sent out the link in the email blast today. So you guys go check that out if you're interested in that. I'm going to be hitting the road again this week. I'll be out of town for 3 or 4 days this week. So I'll ship some stuff tomorrow, and then if I don't get it out tomorrow, it's going to be probably the weekend before I get to it. So just heads up there. But no, Troy, you do not have to be present to win. You just have to reply to my email. That's all you got to do. Reply to my email. So you do not have to be present to win for any of that. All right, let's bring Steve and Frank in. Unmute that. What's up, guys? How are y'all?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I am here.
So Monday night stream, you can come on my stream on Ham Nuggets and give that radio away.
I could.
Think of all the production time and cost it would save you.
Really enjoyed that 1,200 watch count of my live stream I did last month for that. So I will make sure to schedule around you, Steve. I will not interfere with your stream.
And you know that Devil's Light, I think I can find a happy home for it over here.
Probably so. Yeah, that's the second time I've given that one away because the first person, well, there was a story behind that, but yeah, it's
just Screaming Franks. You know.
You know what, Frank? I got an affiliate link for you. I'll send it to you. Be happy to. So, oh yeah, but that's good. You unmuted Frank. You were brave.
Oh,
that's Ed. That's good. So, T.O., what's going on, man? Where are you sitting right now?
I am in Arizona. It was 78 degrees today. It was fantastic.
God, I hate you right now. I really do.
It was beautiful all of one day.
It was 70 degrees here yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And it was beautiful.
And now it's 44. It was 29 when I woke up this morning. So, yeah, that's a thing. So
yeah. So I've been playing with solar. I put some solar panels on my roof right above my head here, and then you can see this red and black wire here, and this black thing over here is the solar charge controller. That's going to be a test bench for charge controllers and inverters and batteries and so on. It's
awesome.
Piece of plywood mounted on the wall so I can zip, screw things in, screw things out, change out parts.
Good. Excellent.
I've got insurance.
Well, hey, you know what? Whatever works for you, man. Just hopefully your slide room doesn't fall apart. That's all I ask.
Yeah, so, I don't have the Schwintek slides.
So you're lucky then. Yeah.
But the bad part about your slides was the emergency manual part to get to do it manually was underneath the slide room.
Right.
So you couldn't do it manually without having it out.
It didn't come with a tool of its own at all.
I've said it before. I think all RV manufacturers should be required to spend 1 week living in their RV. In every one that they make. You'd be surprised how fast we'd innovate. How fast we'd fix the stupid.
That is a good idea. I like that. I like that. Like that idea. So
my toilet seat likes to fall down while I'm using the toilet seat. while it's supposed to be up. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Men in the chat, which are most of you, understand what I'm talking about.
I think your wife says that's a feature.
Yeah. Talk about a pucker moment.
No doubt. That's funny. Oh,
and it's just because of where they set the toilet up against the wall. They turned it, 45 degrees from the wall. So
yeah.
Stupid.
That's weird.
Stupid.
So, All right, if you can't see this, this is Wode Winlink over Android, and I've had a Winlink account for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years, maybe longer than that. Seems like I had it before COVID. I don't remember, but I've had a Winlink account for a number of years. I use it off and on. Honestly, I got to give Mike props, KNMRD, because he brought his broke-ass Mac to Field Day, Winter Field Day, and he was talking about how much he was fighting with it, but over on the Apple OS. But I let him tinker with it on my my Windows box, and WinLink Express was written for Windows. Good, bad, right, wrong. I'm not saying that's just the way it was. So he kind of reinvigorated my interest in WinLink over Winter Field Day. So we took part in the KM4ACK Winter Field Day challenge to download like a list and send a email to somebody and get a reply and send it to somebody else or whatever it was. We did it, whatever it was. I don't remember now. It was 3 or 4 steps. It was easy, but and we did it over 40 meters, I believe. And it was pretty easy to get into the 40-meter VARA HF modem that we were using at the time. So that was fun. I enjoyed doing that. And then since then, of course, ACK was at Hamcation last weekend. So we did a lot of WinLink. And and I remember from last year, there was a WinLink Gateway not too far, a 2-meter packet WinLink Gateway not too far from there at all. And I used the heck out of that. I checked in WinLink at least once a day when I was out there at and this radio that I'm going to try to talk Frank into getting, which is the UV Pro.
Yep.
Yeah, I got enough battery left. So that UV Pro is the VGC. So I wonder, Steve, have you done an actual comparison between those two radios?
Yeah, there's very, very minor differences. And the UV Pro, one of the channel banks is taken up by NOAA weather channels, which then allows you to do scanning of the NOAA weather channels. And I think it has weather alerts.
It does.
You can manually do that on this, but it doesn't have the weather alerts.
Okay.
And the UV Pro is like $10 cheaper.
Is it really $10 cheaper? Okay.
Yeah, I want to say it's $164 for the UV Pro, and then the VGC is $174 after my $10 discount. But you can't get the BTEC in colors, and
correct.
The VGC now comes in Prison Edition.
Prison?
Clear case, and then you can see the batteries in the back.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Prison Edition. Sure. I have a $10 discount for the UV Pro from Baofeng Tech.
Nice.
So I can get
cheapest
that.
ever, $155.
Yeah, something like that. So, is there a Polly Pissy Pants beer tonight? No, TC Fitz. I don't drink IPAs, but thank you for asking.
Did
and
you
before
just call Mike a Polly Pissy Pants?
No,
I think that was a direct attack.
And then he asked earlier with the $20 super chat, is that a member of the Coffee and Ham Radio? Any friend of Chuck is a friend of mine, so there you go. He knows Chuck. Thank you, TC Fitz, for the support, buddy. Yeah, so Mike I left my freaking UV Pro at home for Hamcation. I was going to bring it. I knew we were going to be doing APRS stuff, so I just used my D74 the whole weekend, and obviously, that's a fantastic radio. Absolutely nothing in the world wrong with that radio. Little battery life, but other than that. Mike had this problem with his VGC where it kept squawking in the when he would unkey. It was almost like it wasn't a Roger beep, but this squawk. So he went into the settings, and it was set, and there was some setting in there that kept turning itself back on. He would turn it off, and it would turn itself he thought it was because he powered the radio down and then powered back up. But then later, the second day, he was like, "No, it's back on. I haven't even powered the radio off today." So there's some kind of bug that powers on something in the APRS settings that makes all those noises and whatnot. I can't remember the name of the menu right now, but signaling settings. Mike says the signaling settings inside of that VGC, they kept turning themselves back on. So I got to see. I haven't tried that on this one, but when I key up and talk to myself over this radio, it doesn't make that squawking noise at the end.
Yeah. And Mike, by the way, I did find out how to turn off the APRS audio in your ear hole on that radio, because Mike and I both had that problem at Hamcation where if we had APS turned on all day long, it would just get APRS messages and radio was useless at that point. But I figured out how to turn that off.
Oh, good. Okay. So I wonder if that problem exists in this BTEC. This BTEC, I know that the VGC is full open transmit illegally, which, it is what it is. I don't care. But this BTEC, if it matters to you, is actually a Part 90 radio. So it's full open transmit also, but in the right way. I don't know if the signaling, I would like to put each one of those on a tiny essay and see what they look like.
What is the right way to be full open transmit legally? And then why is the other one illegal? I know what you're talking about, but I don't understand the way that you said it.
Oh,
I'm not calling you out. I'm genuinely want to know.
The BTEC has a legit Part 90 certification from the FCC.
Okay.
The VGC is just sold as a Chinese radio that does everything. To my understanding, that's how I understand. I don't think that you have a FCC rating on the VGC.
I will check.
But the BTEC does.
The Vero does do transmit on GMRS as an example, which is what we're talking about, open transmit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. I know. I know that the Vero is full open transmit. Yes, agreed. But the BTEC has the actual Part 90 certification. So
again, as much as I like to argue, I'm not calling you out. I'm like genuinely
no. That's a good question. It's a good question. Yeah. No, I'm just saying that it's for those who care about legalities, it's the BTEC is an actual Part 90 radio. So. So yeah, Mike says, please tell me how to mute APRS.
Yeah, no FCC ID. Mike, edit the channel specifically that you've got it set on APRS, and it's in the channel setting for that specific channel. Just mute the whole channel.
45 Auto, is that because BTEC is a U.S. company? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, there are legit Baofeng radios that have Part 90 certified. There's a UV82 Charlie for commercial that has a Part 95, or I'm sorry, a Part 90 certification from the FCC. I don't. I'm not 100% convinced that Baofeng isn't just printing FCC stickers at their factory. but nevertheless, I mean, there are some legit Baofengs that have FCC ratings. So I don't think that it's Part. I said it wrong, Vic. Part 90, Part 90, not 95. Part 95 is GMRS FRS, but Part 90 rating is full open transmit on 136 to 172 and usually like 400 to 480, something like that. So it'll cover all of the ham radio bands, MERS, GMRS, FRS, Marine band. It'll cover everything. So anyway, okay. So channel muted. Thanks. Let me see. I think I put. Did I put? No, I didn't. I'll get that link for you guys here in a minute. I should have put the link to that UV Pro in the chat, but I didn't. So I got this. So again, anyway, so I was saying about Winlink a minute ago, and we were using it all throughout Hamcation. And there's a Winlink Gateway, a packet Winlink Gateway that's about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 miles as the crow flies that way from me. That way. It's in South Lake, just north of me.
Because it makes a difference.
Right. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I don't know what that way is from you.
It doesn't matter. It's north of me.
I know.
And I cannot.
See, I was thinking west.
I cannot get into. Well, it's just the closest one. There's one west also. I cannot get into it from an HT on a rubber duck, but I can get it. But I have the BTEC plugged into my external antenna right now, and I can easily get into it all day long. I took it up to my mailbox the other day, and I had the UV Pro clipped to my my sun visor in the truck, and I was getting into it from there. So it's got pretty good range for a HT for where I'm at.
And that was horizontally polarized too.
It was,
so
yeah.
it was that time. Down,
it was
and inside of a
time,
metal
yeah.
box. So
that's right.
It's real good.
Yep. So, but yeah. So I've been checking Winlink emails. I checked Winlink emails right before the stream started. If you guys want to send me a Winlink email, it's KC5HWB. So I will respond to you. I will respond to you. So I got to send you one, Steve, just to say I did it. So, but when I saw that, and I think that I saw this video of yours before Hamcation, Steve, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to tinker with that. So Steve did this video about how to easily set up a Winlink Gateway with an application called DigiPi, which is
Yep.
I guess a whole image, and it looks a lot like Build-A-Pi, like KM4ACK's Build-A-Pi, because it's got options. You can use it for APRS, you can use it for, I think, WSJTX, and there's a bunch of other stuff in there. So Winlink Gateway is one thing it'll do, but it's not the only thing it'll do. So we're gonna look at that today. I wanted to put something like that together today and see what we could do. So that's why I invited Steve on to the show. So tell us about what you learned about doing this, Steve.
So there's quite a bit of stuff, and if you have never operated a server before, that's where this actually gets to be a little more difficult. The radio stuff is fairly easy, fairly straightforward, especially with the DigiPi Raspberry Pi image, because Craig does all the heavy lifting for you, KM6LYW. But you want to be aware of, like, this is supposed to be a service that you're providing the community in your area. And if you're doing this on HF, it's a service that you're providing potentially worldwide, and people are going to come to rely and depend on this thing, and you need to set it up to be reliable and dependable if you're really going to go after it, if you're really going to do the service proud, the way it's supposed to be done. So battery backup, UPS, solar panels, security so that nobody can break into your ham shack and turn it off. And the Winlink server software takes care of identification, so you don't have to worry about setting up an identification beacon. It does that for you. But you do have to worry about, the FCC rules. You're staying in license compliance. You have to be able to log into the system remotely and shut it off. And that can be an Alexa device. It can be X.25, I think it is. X10, way back in the day. It could be an X10 device that, just shuts off the power. But if you're doing this, again, think your way through, test these scenarios, because this radio has a battery backup. So if I left this radio plugged into like a USB-C cable and I turned off the wall outlet, I've still got another N hours of uptime where this thing might still be locked in transmit, and minutes of uptime where it might still be locked in transmit, or something along those lines. So you have to kind of put those thoughts into play as well.
So that's a good way to look at it. I didn't look at it that way. This right here is going to be a test bed for me, because I want to set this one up, and I wanted to do a portable node, and they apparently don't like that. But there is something when you fill out, and you have to send an email to some guy at winlink.org. I'll pull it up. It's right.
Share the page.
Yeah. If I go here. And Winlink right here, and I become a Winlink Gateway sysop right there on the right-hand side. And then you click on that link, and it doesn't work. There it goes. Okay, join the sysop team. It's got all these stuff you got to read through here, which is just, it doesn't take but a minute to read that. So you have to send your name and call sign, the base call sign of the gateway station, and it must be a call sign under your control, of course. So
you were your club, if
right?
You're the club trustee for the call sign.
Right, exactly. That's what you did with you set up K-Toads, right? I
set up K-Toads. Yep.
Right. Cool. State your agreement to commit and operate within these guidelines above here, and a reference to confirm the affiliation with an established MCOM organization if you intend to operate the station as a temporary or portable asset. So that makes me wonder if I should try to get something with one of the MCOM groups I'm a part of to do something just for that. So, that might be a step for the future. I may or may not try to do that in the future. But my original hope was to do it as a portable node, and I understand that they want to know where the nodes are, so they can populate them and have people use them and have them uptime.
They're trying to create infrastructure,
right?
That's like I said before, that's reliable. And moving your radio means it's going to be turned off while you move it, potentially.
Right. Yeah. True. So, but I sent an email to get that, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to move it, and I didn't really. I just answered the first 3 questions really, and I think he replied back to me like 2 hours later, and I got approval.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Okay.
Don't write him a book. Don't tell him about your financial situation, your gout. This isn't 80 meters. Just answer the 4 questions or 3 questions, and he'll retrieve. The more you type, the longer it's going to take to get a response.
True. Yeah. It's a good point. So, all right. So I download. So if we go here to DigiPi, which is Krager.org/DigiPi. KM6LYW is the one who makes this download here. And that download was awfully slow. I think it took about an hour to download that.
Oh, wow.
I did it.
It usually doesn't take that long.
Does it not? Okay. I must have hit it on a time when he was having multiple downloads.
I'm going to blame you.
Maybe. My 500 meg up and down fiber connection was probably too slow for it. I'll give
probably.
So, but it took a while to download. It wasn't bad. But I downloaded that. I burned it to a micro SD card. I plugged it into a Raspberry. I have a Pi 3, Steve, because that's just what I had laying around.
Yeah, should be perfect.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about the Pi 3 is it runs over micro USB.
So Winlink, the official name of Winlink is WL2K, Winlink 2000, which should tell you about when it came out and what it was written for. So a Pi 3 is actually overpowered.
Well, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah. Good deal. So I got that downloaded. I've got it installed, and I've got it right here. If you can see it, we've got it.
Good enough.
HDMI captured into one of my ports here, and it's at the login screen. And I didn't read far enough to see what the login information was. So that's
you don't
that's
have
where
to
we're
go this far.
Okay.
And this is totally cool. What it will do is it will create its own automatic Wi-Fi hotspot.
Right.
And it might be better if you looked at this on your phone since we're live streaming over this connection.
Okay.
So look for the DigiPi Wi-Fi access point.
I've actually got it plugged into Ethernet right now, so it's possible it turned that off.
Oh, yeah. If you've got it plugged into Ethernet, then you might be able to just get straight in via the IP address if you have a way of finding out the IP address.
I do have a DigiPi.
I have never wired this in.
I just did it because I'm here in the shack, and I've got a switch right here. I've got an extra Ethernet.
It would be better if it's wired,
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean,
in a wireless hobby, we want as many wires as possible. Antenna wires, coax wires, power wires.
Ed wants to know if it'd run on a Pi Zero. Which one is the Pi Zero you told me to?
The Pi Zero 2W is the one that you want to run it on. The Pi Zero by itself is a single core 700 megahertz machine, not fast enough. You want the Zero 2, which is a 4-core machine. I think it's 1.5 gigahertz. It's not important, but the 4 cores is the important part.
Also the W is because it's wireless.
Ah, good. Okay. Yeah, I have an old Pi 2 floating around here somewhere that I remember having to add a Wi-Fi USB dongle to because the Pi 2 didn't have Wi-Fi built into it. Go figure. But okay, all right. So it's wired in right now, and or I can
try to go to its IP address.
Okay.
In a web browser.
Let me find what the.
While you're doing that, the Wi-Fi access point that you go to that Wi-Fi access point. Like I told Jason, it's better to do it on your cell phone. And then you go to 10.0.0.5, I think is the IP address, or you can go to digipi.local in your browser. It's HTTP, not HTTPS, because ham radio is not supposed to be encrypted. And then from there is a configuration page where you configure it to be on your Wi-Fi. Just do the Wi-Fi configuration only, save it, and reboot. And we'll show that when Jason finds the IP address. I'm just trying to take up some time while Jason's getting that sorted out and figured out.
Totally.
But it will auto access point if you don't have it already configured. And if you do have it already configured and it can't find that network, it will also auto access point. And then you can use this trick on your cell phone to set its IP address, join the Wi-Fi network that you're on, or just use its Wi-Fi network from your cell phone and take it from there. When you are doing a Winlink server, you do need an internet connection. So be cognizant of that. Most of the other services on the DigiPi, like FT8, JS8 call, APRS, that kind of stuff does not need an IP internet connection. But this Winlink server side does.
Right. Yeah, the whole purpose of a Winlink Gateway is so that it can send and receive your messages via RF and then transmit them over the interwebs into regular emails.
To connect gateway to gateway to gateway, yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I got the IP address. Do I need to put anything after putting it into a browser?
No.
Because it's not loading.
It should pop up.
It's not loading by itself right now.
HTTP?
Let me make sure I think I just
And like I said, I have never done this wired, so it may not even support it because I don't even know if Craig has done it wired. It's designed that you take the 02W into the field with you and do field stuff.
I see.
Yeah, so it's trying to do secure. So you have to type in http://
Well, I just did that. This is just stupid Chrome wanting to put an S in.
It's trying to force you. Can't you just go to?
There it is.
There you go.
I got it. It just took a second. I had to just hit refresh a couple times. So.
Yeah. So like I was saying, on the bottom, so you have all of the services, and you can look at those: APRS TNC iGate, APRS HF TNC iGate, APRS DigiPeter, APRS GPS tracker, web chat, AX25 networking, which is actually computer-to-computer networking. Winlink email server is going to be what we do today. Winlink email client, which is how I set it up. I had one that's a server and one that's a client, so 2 separate PIs, 2 separate radios. The RDOP is actually a faster modem than packet radio. Rig control would be used for WSJTX. And he's got slow scan TV, FL Digi, and JSA call. So this is a loaded image. And all of this software, once we get through this process, will be 100% configured, ready to go. So when you click on FT8, it's already got your call sign. It's already got the radio configured and so on. I wanted to get through that list real quick because that's important to get that word out. But if you scroll down a little bit more on that page, there's 2 links that are important all the way down to the blue links. There you go. On the first column, you see Wi-Fi. And on the bottom of that, you see the green initialize. Yes. So if you're doing this on your phone, just do the Wi-Fi, save the config, and reboot. And then go in on your, desktop computer system with your internet connection and so forth, and then do the initialize. You don't have to, but it's easier that way. If you're going to stay, this wired seems to be working out fine, so just click initialize.
Just click initialize. Okay. I might set that up later.
Yeah.
But
so type in your call sign, skip the password on Winlink, fill out everything else. And the reason why I'm telling you to skip the password is because it's going to show it in plain text.
Right. Yeah. APRS password. I'm going to skip that as well.
Yeah. And that's not actually a password. That's just a generated thing. And this is why I want to do this on the internet. Code. If you hit generate, it'll take you to the APRS passcode generator site where you can type in your call sign and it'll tell you your passcode.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then the same thing with all the rest of these. They all have these little, hot links to take you over to help you find it out, which is why I like to do it on the internet instead of on my phone without internet access.
Okay. All right. Latitude and longitude were already filled in.
They're wrong, but they're filled in.
Yeah, they're wrong, obviously, because it's something that was popular. Do we need to click locate for that?
Unless you know it by heart. Yeah, click locate.
Click locate.
And then just type in like Grapevine, Texas or whatever. It's close enough. And we really don't need to know where your shack is.
New. There we go.
There you go.
Okay, so there. And. Okay.
And after you've done this the first time, all of this stuff is cached in your browser.
Okay.
To drop down and like autofill. You don't have a GPS device, so leave that alone.
Okay.
AX25 node pass. We're not actually doing that, so you can leave that the way it is.
Okay.
Screen type, you can leave that alone. I don't think you have the screen, do you?
I don't have a screen for it. No. Do you have a screen on yours? Do you?
I have a screen on 2 of mine. I have the little 1.3 inch, which is the same size as the MMDVM screens.
Yeah.
And now there is a 3.5 inch screen, which is the size of the Raspberry Pi itself, and that one's really sweet. So I have some videos on that as well.
Do you have like a neat case to put the Pi and the screen and everything in, so it's like one unit?
For the 1.3 inch case, 1.3 inch screen, there is a case, I believe, and for the 3.5, the people that make the 3.5 inch screen don't make a case yet. And then Craig also has a couple, like this image has become really popular, so people have actually made custom dedicated hardware for it also.
I think I saw some of that. Yeah.
He's got a big stack. So down the bottom, this last one here where it says radio interface is the next one we need to look at. You can see where it says FE-Pi, and I can't read that, audio hat. FE-Pi is Iron Pi. Audio hat, GPIO. So there's, if you drop that list down, there's a couple of choices in that list of different Pi hats that he's got that work really well that have been custom built for him. But you're going to need to pick radio interface, and we're going to need to pick the radio, talk about which radio you're using.
Okay, so the drop down doesn't show in my window capture, but the choices are FE Pi hat GPIO, and then USB connected radio, DigiRig, DRA Pi 0 hat, DigiPi hat, audio injector hat, and USB audio GPIO.
So what radio are you using and how is it connected?
I want to use this FT65 with the DigiRig, but
okay.
I'm not 100% convinced that I've got the right DigiRig cable for that radio. So I did grab my 705. I do have my 705 right here, and we can use that tonight for the purposes of the video.
705 is going to be the easiest.
Okay. All right. Let's just do the 705. Eventually, I want to. Jason said ACK. He was like, "Yeah, that FT65 makes for a great server at the house or whatnot." And I'm like, that's a good idea. I've got one that I don't do anything else with it, so it's a good thing to do. So,
I got a whole stack of them hanging up back here. That's what they do. They multiply in your sleep.
I know it. Yeah. Yeah. I saw
That's
a guy
a cool
on Reddit.
HG. I have to have it. What are you going to use it for? I don't know, but I have to have it.
I saw a guy on Reddit one time call Baofeng self-replicating. They're all self-replicating. So, okay. So we're gonna use USB radio then.
Yeah, and on this image, when you pick USB radio, these defaults here, the rig number and the port and everything, is already set up for the 705 because Craig has a 705.
Nice.
I love it.
See
so
that.
you're done. But if you don't have a 705, you see how it says rig number, I think it's 3035, and then it says see rig list.
Yeah, see rig. Yeah.
If you click on rig list, it opens up a new tab, and this, if you guys have ever used hamlib before, which is what's baked into WSJTX, and FL Digi can use it, and rig control RIG CTL on Linux uses it. This is like every radio ever made, and it's in alphabetical order, sorted by vendor name, I believe. And alphabetical order is kind of weird because new numbers, I mean, Frank will back me up on this, numbers sorted alphabetically don't sort numerically. They sort alphabetically in numbers. And it's like 700, 7100, 7200, 705 or something like that. I'm trying to do math on stream and you don't do that, but it's a difference that makes a little bit of a difference. So if you're looking for IC 705, it's not necessarily going to be alphabetically, numerically where you think it might be, but it's going to be in the IC 7s somewhere.
Yeah. Easy enough. Okay.
But just Control F, type in your rig number, and boom, type in your rig name.
Right.
Boom,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
Control F it. So
before you do anything else here, unshare the screen. Type in your Winlink password and then hit the initialize button because it's going to show your password in plain text for everybody on stream.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Oh, look at that. A bunch of people ordered mystery boxes. I got to go look up my Winlink password. I don't remember what it is. I think, actually, you know what? I think I do remember what it is.
Jody, I got you, fam. Control F or Command F if you're on the right team.
On the right team. Okay. And then click initialize after that?
Yeah. And it should automatically reboot. It should actually even say it. Like
it says changes applied, reboot for changes to take effect.
Oh, so you have to hit the reboot button.
Yeah.
And we totally share this out, except, people already impersonate Jason enough. There's even a ham radio 3.0.
I know, I saw that. Yeah. No, it came up and it said it reset it reset all the fields, but it said changes applied at the bottom, and then it had a reboot button. So right now it says DigiPi will be available on this IP in approximately 1 minute. So it's rebooting right now. So
the other cool thing about this, and we talked about this a little bit when you're talking about power requirements and remote shutoff stuff.
Yeah.
The way Craig has set this image up, the SD card is read-only. So there's two things that are going to come into play with that. One is you can hard yank the power out from underneath of the Raspberry Pi and not hurt the file system, which is a great big no-no on most Unix systems.
That's good, yes.
But the other thing to be aware of is that, like, if you're doing FT8 on this, you're going to lose your log. So if you do a Parks on the Air activation using this device, which you can do, and then you turn it off and go home to upload your logs later, you don't have logs later. You've just done. You've just lost it.
Oh, because it's read-only.
Yep.
Gotcha.
It'll FT8 all day long, but once you pull the power, it hasn't saved anything.
Gotcha. Okay.
Craig doesn't FT8. Doesn't POTA. He does FT8. So he hasn't fixed that yet.
Okay. Yeah, that would be frustrating. Because WSJTX just has that auto logger back into it.
Yeah, I totally expect to go home and just copy the last 10 lines out of the log.
Right. Exactly.
You should probably back up by now.
Let's refresh. All right. It's thinking.
So Curtis and Lee are talking about DigiPi versus DigiRig. Those are two separate things. The DigiRig is the small black box USB sound interface, and DigiPi is the software that you run on a Raspberry Pi to do things with the DigiRig interface. So you need both of those. Yeah, there you go.
This is a DigiRig right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you can't install FT8 on a DigiRig.
Right. Yeah, it's just a sound card interface is all it is. So, okay, yeah, it's back up. Good. Okay.
Awesome. All right, so now hit the Winlink email server button, turn it on with your 705 connected, and you're done.
Let me grab my USB
it's
cable.
That simple.
Really? So I just plug this. I just power this. I'm gonna power the 705 on, and we use the USB cable from the 705 to the. We use the micro USB. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. The only USB.
The only USB. When I think ICOM, I think USB B. I just had that in my head, but of course, it's micro USB.
It's a small radio. They got to use the small. It's a micro radio. They have to use the micro USB, and you can get a USB-C adapter to screw into your 705. I need to do that.
Yeah, I saw that there's actually like a conversion you can do to open up the radio and remove the micro USB and put in the USB-C. But I'm told it doesn't actually add fast charging. It's just a plug that's the same speed and bus rate and everything as micro USB. So I'm like, whatever.
So it does two things for you. So if you have what is the name of that tuner? The MAT 705.
The MAT.
If you have
tuner.
that, I know why they did it. I kind of agree with it. I kind of don't. But the MAT 705 has a USB-C connector on it, like it should, and the 705 has a micro USB, like it shouldn't. So that's one thing: is it gets you to only carry one cable for charging your tuner and connecting your radio to USB. So you don't need to carry two different cables. The second thing that it does is if you are the kind of person that uses an amplifier, the send ALC port is also replaced, and the circuitry behind that is replaced to be a little more robust. I don't use the kind of amplifiers that have that buffer requirement, the weird voltage spikes that would fry modern radios. I use the Xiegu XPA 125B. I put thousands of contacts through it.
Oh yeah.
Just directly connected to the 705. But if you were to connect like a AL80B or other like old tube amp to it, you might get wild voltages that would fry your 705. And the new thing is supposed to help with that. I'm not going to guarantee anything. I'm not going to talk out of school on it, but it's more robust.
Okay.
Is the end of my knowledge.
Okay. I'm going to do something that I should probably have done already and plug an antenna into this thing.
That might help too, yeah. Because once you have this Winlink, which you haven't done yet, you're fine. Once you have the Winlink server on, it's going to start beaconing that, hey, I exist and I've done my 10-minute FCC ID compliance.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a short enough burst that it's probably not going to hurt your radio, but, do the right ham thing.
I've got the I want to do it correctly. I've got the 705 in this Armalite cage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a BNC connector on it, and I don't have a BNC antenna here with me. So I'm going to run in the house, and I'm going to get one of my signal sticks.
I think Frank and I will handle it while you're gone.
I think, I think you guys can, hold on, let me make sure people can see Frank.
There I am. Hey, what is up?
Where did the...
two screen go?
Oh, there it is right there. There it is right there. Okay, good.
There's more.
So let me go do that, and I'll be back.
Yeah, there it is.
Welcome to the Frank and T.O. show.
Ooh, so today our topic is takeovers. Are they good or bad on live streams?
They are fantastic on live streams. As a matter of fact, this stream just got 300% better.
Oh, I do agree. How is the other live streaming going that we're stepping on right now?
Are we stepping on another live? Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't watch that channel.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not even ready. He had to run inside. What kind of host does that?
What does he think this is? Ham Nuggets on Monday night on Temporarily Offline Ham Radio, the show where we do everything real time with zero preparation on purpose?
Or that great tech show, it's every other Sunday, Tank Radio, where he's been doing deep dives into technology, and he talked about All-Star, and I honestly, I forgot what the other live stream is I did this year.
the other live stream you've done this year,
Um,
because there's only been 2
come,
every other
come,
Sundays.
I know, right? Coming up next Sunday, I have hammers. We're going to talk about what the new Hammers Pro is and what it gives you.
Is Jared coming?
Yes, he is. I need to
Awesome.
send a follow-up email, but yes, that's what's on the schedule right now. Yay!
Awesome.
What do you got coming up on Nuggets?
So we have been doing a series on TNCs, terminal node controllers, trying to revive 1980s hardware. And we're
Ooh.
at the point where we totally skipped over the 1980s hardware. We got it to kind of work,
Mhm.
but there's 3 or 4 things that you have to overcome. One is you have to have the TNC itself working. 2 is you have to have the right cable for the radio. 3 is
Mhm.
you have to have the radio in the right mode. I guess there's 5 things. Radio in the right mode. 4 is you have to be on the right frequency talking to somebody else who has all of these 4 things set up
All
properly
right.
as well.
Wow.
And then both of you have to have the same configuration on your software. Oh, 6. And the band has to be open. So if I was trying to reach you on 20 meters as an example, we would have to have 100% of the same exact
Wow.
config. And nobody knows how to do this anymore. Most people have just inherited this stuff.
Mhm.
So it's interesting trying to go back down this. And once I get it figured out, then we're going to go a little farther forward. So Monday night,
sounds fun.
I've been putting it off. I got to build some more cables. Monday night, we're going to build some cables and rant about where the state of ham radio is again.
That sounds like fun. I want to see patch panels. Do internet patch panels, like a voice over IP.
Oh,
patch.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The old switchboard.
Yeah.
That's an idea. Okay.
I've seen it with PL2 SO239s on it, and you do that to switch antennas, and then you have a third panel that's just all grounds. So when you go home at night, you ground everything.
Now we have a waterfall. Okay.
And somebody in the chat mentioned that DigiPi, the software, boots up into APRS mode automatically. So
really,
yeah. So
okay.
Beware of turning it on. And if you look back at your screen share, you can tell that it's on or off. Share that out again, and I'll show you.
Okay. That is right here.
Get Frank off the screen, for the love of God, man. Okay, so you're lucky.
That guy's amazing.
The first option says APRS TNC iGate, and by like the guy in the chat said, I forget your name, I'm sorry, but we got a little busy when you left, and Frank and I were talking. That APRS TNC iGate will be on, and that gray column down the left-hand side, it will actually be green, saying that it's on, but it's not on right now.
No, nothing's on right now. So,
and that might be because your APRS passcode didn't work.
Yes, I did not populate my APRS passcode. So,
or it might not be.
Yeah,
I'm just spitballing.
All right, so I need to click Winlink email server on.
Radio is connected, antenna is connected. You're on a frequency that's clear. That's the other thing we got to talk about. If you are going to set up a Winlink server full time in your area, make sure you find a clear frequency in the gentleman's agreement data portion of the band, which I don't know even what that is. And then, so like 144.30, I guess, if that's still in band.
I got a question.
It is. I'm at 144.250 right now.
It's good for me. And then stick it in FM mode.
Yeah,
FM
it's in FM. It's in.
And then it's got to be FM-D.
FM data. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. All right, good. I don't have my, I was looking for my radio camera earlier, and I don't have it connected up right now, so I can't show you guys the radio. Sorry about that, but the important part is the screen that we're sharing right now.
Yeah, so Don is talking in the chat, as Don likes to. He says, I appreciate Craig's work, but I prefer 73 Linux and the way KM4ECK manages his load. I agree with you 100%. They're different beasts for different purposes. So Craig has designed something that can fit in your pocket and you take it with you and just get on the air and do stuff real quick. And Jason has made a desktop platform that's a little more robust. They serve 2 different masters, if that makes any sense. So they're both good work, but they're different target audiences.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. All right. We're in FMD mode.
And I wasn't saying that to alliterate for the rest of the viewers. I was saying that specifically to pick on Don because he's my friend.
Yeah. No, I get you. Okay. All right. Are we good to click on?
Yeah.
for this
Antenna,
thing?
radio, USB
Yep.
cable.
Yes.
So click it. The only reason why this wouldn't work is because you had the Pi booted and you didn't have the radio connected. That may or may not be an issue. See how it went green?
Yeah, it's green now. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
you're
only thing
done.
that's green.
Yep, that's
Okay.
it. So if you
Okay.
scroll down to the bottom where those blue links are,
Yes. Oh, you can't see that. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
so the third column second from the bottom says PKT log, packet log. If you click on
Yes.
that, it should open up another tab and it
Mhm.
will give you a real-time update. And if you know, this is Direwolf.
Oh, there it is. Did you
And
see that?
there you go. You got an error. And the
Mhm.
error, like I said, is because you didn't have the radio connected when you booted the Pi. So I would just go back to the other tab and there's a save config. Click that.
Save config. Yes.
Yep. And then click the reboot button.
Just
and these are
reboot
both
again?
instant. Yeah. Like when you
Okay.
click reboot, it's already rebooted.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't predict the future. It doesn't know. But like when you click the button, it sends the reboot command and gives you zero feedback. It's instant,
Oh.
harsh.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. No. Okay. So it says restarting DigiPi
Yeah.
right now. Okay.
It's not
I
like
thought you meant.
reboot.
I
Do you
thought you
want to
meant it
reboot?
rebooted
Is
that
it okay
fast.
to
No, no,
reboot?
no,
Yeah.
no.
I would.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't
There's
give
no
you
hand-holding.
the idiot Windows. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah,
Yeah.
I get you. So let's. move
So
that down
Watts
a
the
bit.
frequency in the chat is saying most VHF gateway for WinLink are between 144.990 and 145.090 in increments of 10 kilohertz. So there you go.
The one that's close to me that I've been using here, I see that. Thank you for that. The one that's close to me in South Lake here is 144.910. That's the one I've been using for the last
Perfect.
since I got back from Orlando. 144.910. So I don't want to be near that one, but that's good info. So 144.990 and
Why this is rebooting? Why do we
Mhm.
have to select a specific frequency that's not already in use? Isn't WinLink kind of like APRS, where it's just a common frequency that we all use? Why does it have
It
to
can be,
unique?
but it's not. If you have two gateways that I can hear in the same time, like if
Mhm.
I'm physically like 10 miles from each gateway on 2 meters, then we're going to have collisions.
Is it
And
because
Think of
it's
it-
also
think of it like a-
transmitting? It's not like APRS is a receive only. You need to the Pi that we're setting up now needs to transmit back.
It does need to transmit back. Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
Think of it
that's
like
the
a
reason why.
think of it like a repeater, Frank.
Mhm.
The repeater, there can't be a 147.100 repeater more than one in the area.
Mhm.
So they would interfere with one another unless they're on a different PL tone, I guess. But
Well, if they're on
Well,
it, I agree with you 100%. If they're on a
yeah.
different PL tone, you still have the frequency capture effect issue.
yes,
Like I won't hear you. You won't interfere with like me
Mhm.
wanting to listen to repeater A,
Mhm.
but I can't hear it while you're talking. I won't hear
Right.
you on it,
right.
but I
Right.
also can't
Mhm.
hear it.
So the piece
way off
what I
in the
was
weeds.
missing in my mind is it's a two-way communication path instead of like APRS. It's a one-way. Me sending it to the gateway. There's not really much coming back from the gateway.
No,
to me.
APRS is two-way also, but everybody
it is.
think of APRS as like a worldwide repeater. Everyone is on the same frequency because that's where everybody's talking. So it's not like you and me having a conversation on the Ulyss repeater and two other guys on the Hearst repeater. Everyone's on the same repeater because all of your APRS iGates and digipeaters are on 144.390. Now you can have an APRS.
But what if that
Digipeater
same
on a
collision will still happen? If
So
everyone's
the
on-
difference is
No.
that WinLink, we're getting farther down the path and I'm not
Right.
arguing about it. I just want to let people in the chat know, people who are watching.
I'm
the-
curious. What's
the-
the why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
here.
So
It's a good question.
remember dial-up internet days when you would send and receive email, you'd get 40 emails in your inbox, you'd reply to all of them, they'd all queue up in your outbox, then you'd hit send and receive again. When you do that on WinLink, it's this exact same paradigm as like AOL dial-up email. When you do that on WinLink, you're tying up that frequency for the entire duration of your transmit of 30 messages that you have replied to and queued up for sending. And APRS, on the other hand, is packet off, packet off, packet off. And there are collisions,
Mhm.
but not a whole lot because it's packet off, where WinLink is packet. Get out of my way. I'm sending packets. I'm still sending
Mhm.
packets. Who do you think you are? Get off my frequency. I'm sending packets. And nobody else can use it that entire time.
Yeah.
Which is fine if it's me talking to the server, but if it's 12 servers and 2,000 people, all trying to share the same frequency, that's where all the collision nonsense comes in.
Okay.
And there's ways
good
around it, but
explanation.
not smart ways around it. Can't get too far in the weeds.
All right, that took a couple minutes to reboot. But
awesome.
Okay, Winlink email server.
So scroll up again. Maybe your APRS is on. Nope. Okay.
It's
so
not.
sometimes
it's not.
Sometimes it comes on. Maybe he updated that.
It was trying to come on when it was rebooted, but it still said rebooting down at the bottom. So
Yeah.
And then the page refreshed and it's not on now. So
all right.
Okay. So
you might need
there.
to turn that off if that green light for APRS is on, and then turn on Winlink, because they both use a different Direwolf config, but the same Direwolf software. Hit that packet log again.
Packet log. Okay. Boom. Okay.
So far, so good.
Unverified server T2CA East. So where does the okay, it says KC5HWB-2. I think we're supposed to be -10. I don't remember where we set an SSID for
that's internal.
Okay. So where does the authorization that I had to get from the Winlink Gateway admins where does that come into play? Like when this keys up and tries to connect, will it not connect if I don't have the proper authorization? Is that what it's doing here?
So your client, your other radio, your other computer, your other whatever down the street, not the server that we just set up. When you try to connect, the server then phones home. And when the server phones home, it says you're authorized and continues the transaction, or it says you're not authorized and shuts off the transaction.
Gotcha. Okay. So it hadn't actually done that yet because I haven't connected to it with a client.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know if that line that you have there, it still says APRS. Trying to read all that stuff, and it's a little small on my side.
It says, the first line says APRS-C 2.1.19, and then some numbers, and then it says log RESP KC5HWB-2 unverified server T2CA East. And then the third line says KC5HWB-2. And
see how it says above that, it says now connected to iGate server NOAM, which is North America. I think we need to go back to the main page and hit off on Winlink email server.
Okay.
And then if you go back to the packet log page, see how there it is. Yep. Okay. This is what I was talking about.
It turned green there.
So what happened is that we were impatient. It booted up and we didn't wait long enough for it to settle its state out. And like the gentleman mentioned earlier in the chat, DigiPi boots up into APRS mode. So hit the off on APRS.
Okay.
And then if you go back to packet log, you should see that it's shutting down or has shut down. Or it's just going to be hard off. Okay. Awesome, Craig. Go back to the other page.
Not robust logging. Okay. Turn
Yeah.
this back on.
Yeah. And then when you hit packet log, you should see it start up in Winlink mode.
Direwolf and DigiPi.
Yeah, there it is. See how it says reading config file /run/direwolf.winlink.conf?
Yes.
And it's the top of that bottom paragraph, the first line.
Yeah. Run. Yeah. I see that. Okay.
And I do believe you can like drag over that copy and paste style with your mouse if you wanted to highlight it. I don't know if it's gonna. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That way
right
people
there.
in the chat can see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
It's still giving me an error.
Why is it doing that?
I haven't even touched. I mean, yeah. Terminating after audio device input failure.
We can get in the weeds of troubleshooting this on Linux. And Freddie in the chat is asking, will APRS come back on every boot? Yes, that's a default that Craig has set up. I don't know why. It just is.
I wonder how you can turn that off. Or maybe you can't turn that off. Audio output start error, no such device. Audio output start error. No. Audio write error, retry count exceeded.
So what it's trying to do right now is connect to the port on the 705. Do you have a power only cable or do you have a power and data cable? That's probably the easiest thing.
No, this is the cable. This is the cable that I use. I keep with the 705. I've used this for WSJTX multiple times. So it is a Dable cable.
Jeff is asking about config on the 705. That's also a good question. Yeah, Colin's right. It turned into a Nuggets episode. You have FT8'd on this radio recently.
Not recently, no, but I mean, actually, that's not true. I did on New Year's Day. Yeah, so about a month ago.
And you haven't changed any settings? Because there is a setting where that, what is it, the data off mod or whatever it is inside of the 705. I think the 705 defaults to it being on properly or whatever.
I don't remember that one. What I do know is I've never done FT8 on 2 meters with this radio. I don't know if that makes any difference or not.
It shouldn't. You had this thing connected up to HDMI. Did you have a keyboard and mouse plugged in also, or just a keyboard? Okay. Yeah. Switch back over to that view, and we'll make sure your 705 is connected. It is usually not this difficult to do.
Let's go.
There's some configuration issue. So we'll do some quick troubleshooting. We'll see what we come up with.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
What's
for most people, this will just
FT8
work.
Profile.
Inside of the 705, there is a profile that you can select, which will open up all the bandwidth and set all the proper stuff. So the 705 has about 1 billion settings inside of it. And you can set them all up the way you want for whatever service you're using. Like if you're a RTTY fan and you've got it all set up for RTTY with the proper bandwidth and spacing and everything, then you can create a profile called RTTY profile and save it. And then you can switch back to sideband profile. So the user ID is Pi and the password is Raspberry. So log in as Pi Raspberry.
Under voltage detected.
Yeah, that's a thing with Raspberry Pis. That's a pain in the butt. Okay. Type in LS USB. And I see Texas Instruments something, and I see Microchip Technology.
Logitech. It's the Device 05, the Logitech. It's a wireless dongle that's in there for the keyboard and mouse.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you unplug your 705 and then type LS USB again, we're going to see that this doesn't change because your 705 is probably not connected properly. No, I see it on there. Prolific Technology IC 705. Yeah. So now type LS USB again, and you'll see that some things have disappeared out of the list.
Right. Correct.
So we lost the Texas Instruments thing, which is the sound card that's inside of the 705, and we lost the Prolific Technology thing, which is the serial port inside of the 705. Okay, so plug them back in.
Okay.
And then if you run LS USB, you'll see them pop up again. The other thing to do is A record space dash A. I think it's A record.
Invalid option space dash A.
What is it? I'm not at my console right now. It's the command that enumerates the devices inside of also.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Let me log into one of my machines here.
I can't remember what that is.
Yeah, Hillbilly Ham saying it looks like a setting inside the 705 is not correct.
That's probably what it is, yeah. That's probably what it is. Now, if we're going to do the FT65, is it still going to be USB radio for that one setting?
The FT65 is going to be DigiRig.
Oh, it'll be DigiRig. Setting. There's an actual DigiRig setting. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, it's going to be properly configured to run on the DigiRig. There's just something going on in Jason's 705. And, let's see.
This 705 is like from when the radio was brand new. Okay. Jody says A record -L.
-L. Why did I think it was dash? Yeah, do A record -L. Jody's right. He's a smart guy. Yeah, there you go. And it says card 0, device 0. Okay. Type in ls and you should see a direwolf.winlink.config in the current directory.
Direwolf.
Maybe he's moved it.
I've got Direwolf Digipeater, Direwolf Node, TNC 300B, TNC config. I don't like that ls view. It's ls space -L, I think is easier to use. So it puts it in a list format here. Let's see. Oh, and now my it doesn't like the mouse. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. You said Direwolf what?
Direwolf.winlink.conf.
Yes, there. Yeah, that's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Type in less, LESS, space direwolf.winlink.conf. And then just press enter and it'll page out. But we're looking for a device. So hit the right there at the bottom. See how it's commented out? Use the down arrow a couple of times. And you should know. Wow.
That's
So
the
he's
end.
got the, I would say that your config didn't work out right. Hit Q to exit.
Okay.
Ah, that's true. Yeah, see, you've got your call sign up in there, KC5HWB-10. That's set properly.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we didn't set the -10, though.
No, like I said, it's all automatic inside.
It's all
Craig does a
automatic.
really good
Okay.
job on
Okay.
this.
All right.
But your config is not working right.
What's the frequency? We are in FM data mode. It is in FM-D mode, so we're there. Yes, it does need to be there, but that's where we're at.
Yeah, and there's another setting deeper inside the menu because the 705 does have a deep F menu.
It does. It does.
I want you to unshare your screen because I think they're right. This next file that I want to look at is going to have, before you unshare your screen though, type in ls so I can see the files that are there because I can't remember the name of the config file. Maybe it's config because I don't have my DigiPi set up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns that I can see. Do you have more columns than that on your screen?
I have the screen zoomed in right now, so that it's easier to read. But yeah, there's a lot more columns than that.
Okay. Go into the config. So do cd space config. CD for change directory, and then do an ls in there. And I don't see it. I forget where Craig saves his config file.
Which config file for what?
For DigiPi itself.
Oh, okay. DigiPi.com for whatever.
Yeah, if you have one of those, I can't read 100% of what's on your screen. But that's a Zoom problem.
It is not. Yeah, it is not in that. It is not in that directory.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't even know what the file name is.
DigiPi.conf.
Michael, you're right. A device should be commented out, but the one that had the comment still had the wrong configuration in it. So I think DigiPi might not be configured properly.
Interesting. Huh.
And what I would recommend you do under normal circumstances is reburn the SD card and go back through that initialize process that we had at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Lee, I'm looking for the DigiPi config file. And I don't want to show it on the screen because it's going to have all of his passwords in plain text, and you technically shouldn't edit it. Yeah, Jeff is right. Data mode to USB on the 705. Let me pull out my 705 and see if I can play along with you on checking that setting.
Okay.
It's buried.
Yeah.
And it gets me every time because I took my 7100 to Hamcation a couple of years ago. And I was playing with this exact setup and it would never work. And I went, oh, USOB. That's exactly what the problem was. And the 7100 was set to not have data going over the USB port. USB being universal serial bus, not
upper sideband. Yeah.
Because that's not confusing in ham radio at all. They should have named it something else.
Right, yeah, totally.
Menu, set, connectors.
This is turning into a Nuggets episode, Don says, yeah.
Okay, so on your 705, hit the menu button.
Yep.
And then on page 1, lower right, is the set.
Set, yep, I'm there.
And then scroll down to page 2 of 4, you'll see connectors. It's the second option from the bottom.
Yep.
Tap that, and then on page 2 of 3, there's mod input, MOD.
Yes.
They couldn't spare an extra character for the MOD input. And then the bottom of the first page, there's data mod.
Yes.
I think it's actually modulation. I'm just picking on ICOM, and it should
Oh.
be USB.
It is.
Okay, so
yeah,
that's
data mod is USB.
So that's correct. I mean, it did show up in LSUSB, so I think we might have just pooched the configuration when we first did this because you didn't have the. I'm going to blame you because you're here.
Because I didn't have the radio plugged in.
Yeah, maybe.
So we have to plug in the radio before we do the configuration.
Like I said, I'm only blaming you because you're here. I don't want to talk bad about Craig behind his back. That would be rude. Talk about you in front of your back.
Sure. Yep. Makes sense. Well, we did call this an easy, easy setup. So we had to run into some roadblock somewhere.
Yeah. How long does your show normally go? Because we're already past the hour mark.
1:20.
Where's Craig? I'm surprised Craig's not watching.
1 to 1.5 hours.
Okay. So I mean, we got time to reburn the SD card and try again.
Yes, I could do that. You want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. So, all right.
No.
So let me shut this down.
And you don't have to shut it down gracefully and just turn it off because we're reburning the SD card.
Exactly. Okay.
It's not like tonight is Valentine's Day or anything. We can stream all night.
Oh yeah.
Watch the frequency. You are absolutely correct.
I may have to go inside and get my card reader because I burned
this.
I burned this card on another computer. So
Frank and I got this.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Y'all saw me log into the machine behind my head here to start looking.
Let's see.
Yeah, now it's gone.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. All right, let me go grab my card reader and I'll be right back.
Yeah, Frank and I got this.
All right, I bet you do.
So, on the second takeover here.
Right. Again, I think we got 300% improvement.
I know, right? I agree. Anything fun or new coming up on your channel?
Oh, always something fun and new coming up.
Mm-hmm. I was hoping this coming weekend, I was going to go to the park and I was going to do some slow scan TV, and I was going to show how to set it up and listen to help support the Pharma 2 launch. And I was like, because a part of their mission is going to be sending out slow scan images. I was like, this is how you do it with an HT.
Nice.
If you have a Yagi. And then I think if I have time wise, I do it for HF. But it's still going to be like 30 degrees. And I was like, no.
that kind of stinks.
And I could do it from the house, but it's not the same.
Oh, Michael, debug G800:C. Nice.
Okay. Let's go.
That was fast.
I know, right?
Well, I had all my stuff.
Can you leave again? Frank and I weren't done talking.
I bet. I had all my stuff sitting on the kitchen table because I just burned that earlier today. So.
What's the distance on a Winlink Gateway? Danny's asking. Danny, it depends on which frequency you are on and whether the band is open or not. 2 meters is line of sight, obviously. Well, not necessarily, obviously. And then HF is worldwide, depending on band conditions.
Okay, so
he sprinted. He ain't even out of breath, John.
E drive. Let's do the E. Oh, it's coming up as the F drive. It's dual This thing's dual partitioned.
Alan says, "Yeah, just blow it away." Alan's saying, "Why not avoid Linux and just install WinLink on a Win 10 PC? Because we don't like Windows."
What's he saying?
He says, "Why not just do it on Windows?"
Well, I have WinLink Express on Windows, but like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I've really enjoyed using Wode, and Wode only works with Packet. So that's why we're doing a 2 meter packet right now. So I guess I could probably use WinLink Express on Windows when this is all said and done. I just got to connect it to my.
The short answer is there's more than one way to do it, and this is one way.
Yes. Very true. Okay.
Yeah, the wheezing was Frank, John.
No, I haven't even done anything.
Yeah. So why are you out of breath?
Okay, DigiPi.
Don says Win 10 is going away soon. I hope Win 11 goes away soon.
No doubt. Yeah, I think I'm going to do some episodes about trying to switch all my stuff to Mint 22 because I was talking to ACK about that at Hamcation. You know, I tried to drop Windows about 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, something like that, and just too much. I'm like, I don't feel like fighting with my operating system. I need my computer to do stuff.
To do what I tell it to.
I don't need to convince it to do stuff every time I want to go do stuff. So
or the latest update breaks 4 apps that I'm
right.
really relying on.
Yeah.
Or the graphics driver doesn't work here but works over there. No.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
the only problem you're going to have with switching in our field, switching over to Linux, is the video editing. There is not a good video editor on Linux.
I pay someone to do that for me. So,
well, la-ti-da.
Yeah. Well, and when I was on Jay Christina's channel, he interviewed me. We were talking about ham radio on his channel because he's a Starlink guru, and I had him on my channel first. He uses OBS and he live streams all from Linux.
Mm-hmm.
So he uses OBS on Linux. He uses that Video Ninja streaming software, which is all browser based. That's what Kyle uses.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle told me about that a long time ago, and he's like, it's all on. He's like, I dropped Windows a couple years ago, and he's all on Linux now, even with his live stream stuff. And I'm like, that might be something worth checking into. So, yeah, I would probably do like a dual boot.
Yeah.
You know, do like because there's certain things on and I was telling Jason like he hates Windows, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. But Winlink Express was written for Windows. It's much more robust than Wode or Radio Mail or Pat Winlink or any of these other applications that run kind of like a light version of Winlink Express. There's a lot Winlink Express will do, so I wouldn't want to give it up completely anyway. But the same is true for several other programs. I mean, I use Photoshop and Premiere, and those aren't. I tried to use GIMP one time several years ago. I'm like, this is terrible.
I use GIMP notorious for all my images, but you're right. You know, if you're used to Adobe's Photoshop, it's
all
backwards.
Of the shortcuts are different. All of the shortcuts are different, and I couldn't
tools,
stand
different
that.
names, different looks.
Yeah. What version of the image are you using? I am using 1.9-2.
Yeah, I think you downloaded it like yesterday or today.
It was a couple days ago. It's earlier this week. But yeah, I don't like GIMP. I was really hoping I would like GIMP, and I didn't like it.
I just don't want to pay for Adobe. So that's why
I know a guy who works for Adobe, so I get the whole suite for like $40 a year. So, you know. It's all about who you know. So
I'm guessing the SD card's burning.
It is actually I'm downloading from my cloud server, which is where the image is kept. Because I didn't burn it on this computer. I've got like 3 or 4 PCs in my home here. So okay, here it is.
Mike. With
Image.
the quote.
Bring out the GIMP, yeah.
I wasn't going to say it, but yes.
It's the GNU image manipulation program for those of you that are easily offended.
Right.
Which shouldn't be any of you here.
Right, yeah. What are you doing on this stream?
Yeah, if you are, then you haven't really been paying attention, or Jason's just not doing a good enough job.
Uh-huh. Can you run Vara FM on 73 Linux? Yes, you can.
Yes.
Absolutely. 73 Linux is freaking awesome. And I'm going to do some videos with it upcoming. In fact, I've already got it installed on one machine, but I bought back when they were like $80. I bought 3 of those Evolve Maestro 12-volt laptops, so I've got one box I haven't even opened yet. All right, so here it is. DigiPi image. Okay. Right. I wish I could blow that partition out, though. I don't know if it's going to do that for me or not.
Just overwrite it.
Well, it doesn't bring up that drive letter as an option. Let's see. Manage. Let's try to. It's Windows. So let's go to disk management and see if I can just delete those. Yeah. Unallocated. Okay. Delete volume. Yes. Good. Delete volume. Yes. Oh, what do you know? I did it on Windows, guys. I was able to nuke. I was able to nuke my partitions on Windows. Exit.
It's easy.
It's easy if it. It's easy if it works the way it's supposed to, which is not always the case.
If the flash drive is mounted correctly, I could do it like 3 different ways.
Okay, here we go. Right. Yes. Okay, we are writing.
Awesome. And this is a condensed image, so it won't take long to write it all.
No, it's not that bad.
So North 49 Radio is saying do a video on 73 Linux, and there's so much in there. And to Jason's credit, the way that he wrote the software, the installer, is extremely robust and resilient. But it also, if we just live streamed it, I think it would take like an hour or two just to watch it install itself.
Well, Jason and I had Jason on a live stream 3 or 4 years ago, and we did a live install of the predecessor to 73 Linux, which was Build-A-Pi. And it's 73 Linux is basically Build-A-Pi version 2. Or 2. I'm going to call it 2.0. I'm going to call it KM4ACK 2.0. That's what I'm going to call it. But it's and we did a build, and there was a bunch of stuff in there that you could turn off and on, or install, or choose to install, or choose to use, or something like that. So it was and 73 Linux I think is even more robust. So I'm going to do some videos with it, but it's probably not going to be on a live stream. I'm probably going to do multiple videos with it actually. So 31%, we're going. It's not writing that quickly, but it is writing. It's going.
So North 49 Radio says he's got the time. It's not about the time. It's about, creating something worth watching, and watching the computer install its own software while we talk about it is kind of what we're doing right now.
That's kind of what we're doing right now. This was not on the agenda for tonight, but nevertheless.
No. Once we get past this part, if you have the volume turned up on your 705, you should hear it send out its beacon.
Okay.
Don is correct. They compile the code. And like I said, Jason does a fantastic job on 73 Linux. I just wanted to put that out there, that it takes a while to do the install.
It does. Okay. While that's going, we're at 52%. I'm going to open sessions on Wode. And I'm connected to my UV Pro here, and which is on the frequency for the nearby repeater. There it goes. That thing here focuses. Oh, I know why it's not focusing. I've got it on manual focus. Oops. Receiving messages.
Nick's asking, can I use this on an FT5? Yes, as long as you can get it interfaced with your computer or phone, you can use it on whatever radio you have. Cables and hardware and Bluetooth and so on.
Yeah. I was tinkering around with my Moby linked TNC4 last night, and I connected it to my FT5 and had it connected to APRS Droid, just for the heck of it, just because it's a hell of a lot easier to send an APRS message with APRS Droid than it is that Yaesu radio. And some of you have sent me emails. There you go. Downloading now. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. 92%. We're just about there.
See, hear all that traffic in the background, Frank?
Yep.
That's the reason why they don't share frequencies. Illustrated 100%.
Yeah, true.
Well, the thing
Has just
that didn't click for me. It was because it's a two-way communication, unlike APRS, like you said. Mostly it's a one-way, but they can be a two-way. But it's so short. If there is a collision, it just gets it next time.
Okay, we are re-imaged back in the Pi. Let me find my USB cable for power here. I'm going to plug this up. All right, so we're plugged into the 705, and it's powered on. And, yep, there we go. So all of that is plugged in and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and power the Pi up.
radio's plugged in and everything.
And yep, radio's plugged in, powered on, whole 9 yards. And I wonder if it's going to give it a new IP address this time, but let's see. Nope, same IP address. 56. Okay, there we go. We've got the initialize screen at the bottom.
All right, so run through that initialize again. We've already done this, so you can just do it real quick off screen, type in your password and everything, and it should be in your browser save thing.
Right, yeah, okay. Hello, there we go. Winlink password. Locate. Does it matter the grid square? Does it have to be all 6 digits, or can you do the 4-digit thing?
It should be 6, but 4 will do.
Okay. That's not going to cause trouble like we were seeing if I only use 4?
No, because we didn't get to connect to the radio. We hadn't even gotten to the grid square part.
That's true. That's true. Okay. USB connected radio. It's already set to 705. Initialize. Changes applied. Reboot. Okay. It's rebooting now. I have used MobiLink and FT5 for Wode. Works great. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, MobiLink's another good solution.
I was trying that last night, but I was in my bedroom upstairs, and I was and I wasn't connecting, and I didn't know why. And I checked the logs. It's because I wasn't reaching the gateway. So it was trying, but it was working on my side. I was just on the rubber duck antenna of the FT5. But the cool thing is you can take that TNC4 and connect it to an ICOM, and you can do APRS on an ICOM.
John's saying, I wonder if we found a glitch in programming because of LAN instead of wireless. Possibly, but I don't think so.
That's an idea.
I'll say more as a bug.
That's an idea, though.
That's what it is. Justin found the file. It's localized.env. But he's got some comment inside of the localized.env that makes it, I think it says something like, don't edit this, blah, 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 blah. I think you can edit it and reboot, but it's like super advanced stuff.
Oh, okay.
And we're trying not to make this super advanced.
Okay, so the APRS TNC iGate is on after reboot, so I'm going to turn that off.
Yep. And that light should go gray instead of green.
Yeah, now it's gray.
And then Winlink
And
email
then
server
I'm gonna
on.
Winlink email server on. Everything's connected.
Your screen actually looks better on stream than it does on Zoom.
Good. Well, yeah,
looks,
you're right. It does. Mm-hmm.
It looks AI generated on my Zoom screen here.
Does it really? I wonder if that's
like,
your internet's been pretty good tonight, but at the when you first joined, you were kind of robotic. So
yeah.
I wonder. I don't know. Okay, packet log. Reading can file direwolf winlink.conf. We're good there.
Awesome. Oh, there it is. I heard it. Well,
yeah.
Did you hear the radio?
Well, it did that last time, but then the screen showed all these errors.
Yeah,
so yes, I heard the radio.
Line,
yeah.
KC5HWB-10 beacon, Winlink Gateway.
Yep.
There you go. You just sent out your beacon telling the world that you exist on this frequency.
There we go. Hey. Okay, that is success. So I guess it was just.
It was something. Like I said, the easiest thing to do with DigiPi is just start over.
I would like to think that it's probably the fact that was not plugged into the radio when we configured it.
I'm still going to blame you
because I feel like I'm the one who didn't plug it into the radio, so I guess you'd be right. But yeah. I still feel like it wrote the card correctly the first time. But
oh yeah,
okay, sweet, okay.
So now you can configure WODE to connect over whatever radio you have connected to that other device.
Yes,
but this is it. It's done. It's beaconed.
But it's done.
You're done.
Sweet. Okay. I configure WODE to connect to the 705, right?
You configure WODE to connect to the other radio. Your 705 is now dedicated as being a Winlink server.
So I would change the frequency on my BTEC UV Pro to match the 705, and then we could go from there. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Good.
So you have radio sound interface, which on the 705 is just a USB cable.
Right.
But it could be a DigiPi or a Signal Link or something along those lines. And DigiPi, the Raspberry Pi with Craig's image, that's your Winlink server setup.
Right.
That whole nut gets set off to the side and stays on and runs. And then you get your other radio, your other computer, your other whatever, and configure that to connect over RF to the Winlink server that we just set up.
Right. Okay. Sweet. Okay. Well, that's successful anyway. Yeah. So if I wanted to change it to if I wanted to change it to
a different radio,
DigiRig instead of the 705, that's done in where do we do that?
The easiest way to do it again is just to reburn the SD image.
Oh,
you can
really?
go into the localized.env file and edit it manually and reboot and so on, or you can just burn the SD image and go through the initialize. Craig has made this by default to not be radio agile.
Oh, okay. So once you set it up, you're kind of done.
$10, you know.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Oh, there's Craig.
Craig is here.
We talk about him enough. I guess he shows up. So, what's up, dude? So, okay. Well, good.
Craig is my hero.
Because it's like because once you get it burned, it's like 3 or 4 clicks and you're done.
Yep.
So
it's easier to have a $10 Raspberry Pi for every radio than it is to have one Raspberry Pi and 10 different radios and 10 different sound interfaces.
That makes sense. Okay. Cool. I got to make sure I've got the correct cable for my FT65 for the DigiRig, and if I do, then I'm going to switch, because you don't want to dedicate your 705 to be your Winlink Gateway. Come on.
No.
So
Craig is saying make a second SD card, which we can do, or edit the localized.env file. And Craig, in your file, there's some verbiage you have that kind of hints that you shouldn't edit this, which is why I'm trying to urge people to not edit it. But you can, I mean, obviously you know more about it than I do.
I thought I heard intro music. Liberty
if you haven't watched Craig's channel, he plays a little guitar bumper, like live guitar. Every single one of his videos, and he's got hundreds on his channel, which is KM6LYW Radio.
Some values you can edit.
Yeah.
It's probably, I mean, as simple as it was to just burn the image and, yeah, just burn a second SD card is what he said. I'm like, that's probably the thing to do right there. Okay. Sweet. Well, you know what? This is this
Success.
had some. It was success. It had a bump in the roadblock, but just like
We fixed it.
Every other time we've done that, we've tried to fix it, and today we were successful. So
It's because
partially. It's partially because you're here. I still remember that time we were building the Morzarino. I think it was the Morzarino.
Yeah.
And mine didn't work, and I fixed it on camera. And N5SKT,
We were all shocked.
He's like, you fixed it on live camera. He's like, and I had the same problem, so it was so great to see you fix it. I'm like, well, every now and then, you know, I mean, a broken clock is right at least twice a day too. So sometimes I can fix stuff. So cool. Well, this was good. I really enjoyed doing this. It's good to kind of see it in action. It's good to click through it and see everything that it'll do and how simple it is to, you know, I'm glad we had to burn it again to just kind of see what it's doing. So that's going to be cool to tinker with, I think.
Yeah, and if you check out on my channel, I've got a couple of quick videos that just go over that part. Live streams are cool, interaction, community stuff. I love them. But sometimes it's like, just give me the 2-minute version. So
right.
I've got one for
Agreed.
setting up, one for what a server is, one for setting up the server, and one for setting up the client on the VGC or the UV Pro or whatever radio you happen to have.
Right. Cool. All right. Well, this was fun. Thank you, Steve, for your time.
Sure, anytime.
Appreciate the info there. We still need to do another RV live stream on the other channel.
Yeah, you keep saying that. I actually thought about that the
know.
other day because I have 2 projects that I'm working on. One is this solar thing that I'm talking about. Right now, it's just wired into this room, but I want to wire it into the battery on the tongue, and then I want to get an inverter set up, and there's going to be a loop that I'm concerned about.
Okay.
I mean, you know, when you plug into shore power on your RV, there is a AC to DC converter battery charger built into the camper.
Correct.
So I would actually be solar power into the solar charge controller, into the battery, into the inverter, into the shore power plug, into the panel, into the AC to DC converter, back into the battery. So I'm wondering, like, am I creating this free energy loop thing going on? I don't know. I'll solve the problem. And the other one is I don't have enough air conditioning in this rig. It's a 36-foot rig with a single air conditioner.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So
the
I
rig
have a couple of solutions, but none of them are good.
The rig we rented in Orlando was a 35-foot camper, and he well, we didn't have access to a 50-amp plug, so we could only use one of the air conditioners. It had 2, but you had to have a 50-amp plug. But it was fine. We had no problem. That thing worked great. But yeah, if I was living in the thing, I would definitely want 2 air conditioners. Well,
this is a Salem, and you know the Salems aren't the highest trim level. It's like the Chevrolet version, not the Cadillac version.
It's more like a Yugo. My one I've been having all the trouble with is a Salem. But yours is pre-COVID.
Yes, I made sure of that. Don't buy any COVID trailers ever.
Right, yeah.
They were all built on Friday, and they all got phoned in. Every single one of them, every manufacturer.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good question. So Brooks asks, will this act as a Winlink Gateway as RF only, no internet, i.e. store and pick up email from the specific station? Well, my understanding of a Winlink Gateway is it's always over the internet because that's how you email back and forth.
That's how emails get sent from gateway to gateway is over the internet. Yeah.
Right. So it's RF, sending an RF email from your station when you're in the field across RF, across the airwaves to a gateway that's somewhere connected, receiving RF signals and sending RF also, but it's also connected to the internet.
Yeah, so from a emergency standpoint, like what happened in North Carolina, they had no internet, they had no cell phones, they had no nothing. Your 2-meter would get you to the 2-meter gateway. The 2-meter gateway would have like a Starlink or something, or would be outside of the impact crater, and then would get you across the internet to somewhere else. Or your HF would get you out of the impact zone to a safe place that does have internet. There is peer-to-peer WinLink, but it's a lot more difficult to set up to the point where you might even just like pick up your HT and just talk instead of sending somebody a WinLink email. Because it's peer-to-peer. You're only talking to one person anyway.
I mean, at that point in time, if you're going to do peer-to-peer, use APRS because that works simplex peer-to-peer just fine.
Or Meshtastic.
Or Meshtastic. That's true also, yeah.
Yeah. There's more than one way to do it, and sometimes there are better ways, and sometimes WinLink is the better way.
Well, it's all about your intent, what you want to do with the message.
Right.
If you're just trying to communicate in your area, or like you said, this is meant to send email on the internet. So.
Right. So I got 11 new messages when we were sitting here. So
nice.
Thank you for
Love
this.
it.
Check it again. You'll get 11 more new messages.
I know it, yeah. So I am going to be on the road this week, and I'm going to go get a new trailer.
Yeah,
nice.
Because it's possible I'm going to line the old one with tannerite and take it out to the hunting lease at one point. So, but we'll see.
If that happens,
well, no, you have to have Mike do it. That way you can still make the insurance claim.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so I'll be on the road. I'm driving to Ohio this week to pick up a new trailer, and I will be checking, receiving, and sending WinLink emails and doing position reports over WinLink during that time. So you guys keep in touch with me. All right, Frank, I know you want to do your thing.
Yep.
So, please go ahead.
I am getting so close to 6,000 subscribers, and let's go ahead and try to push that because I'm trying to arrange a giveaway behind the scenes. So once that happens, there will be a giveaway around 6,000 subscribers at 6,000 subscribers, and I'm looking forward to it. I go ahead and just drop the link into the chat, and I'm so excited! 6,000! Woo! I'm big time now. Well, I'm
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool, man. When is it? You know when that's going to be?
Not yet. I got to hit the 6,000. So I'm hoping it might be, if it happens in a week, we'll do it in a week. If it's not, then it'll be in the March. But we'll see when it goes. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Cool, man. So wrong Lee. There we go. No Lee. Cool, man. Well, thanks a lot, man. Congrats to that, and we will definitely keep you watching on that. Yes, Nick, I'll be on APRS as well. Always on APRS.
I'm 40 shy
Always on
right
APRS,
now.
So 40.
40.
Okay.
Ooh. Jody just gifted a bunch of memberships.
Yeah,
nice.
I know. Yeah, Jody, thank you very much. Absolutely be on APRS, so no problem there. But cool. Okay. Well, good luck, Frank. You have to keep us posted on that.
Will do.
You should go buy yourself an APRS radio when you hit 6,000. That should be your gift to yourself.
Yeah.
Get one of these.
Yeah. I would suggest the BTEC, but I want one of those VGCs so that I can do an actual side-by-side comparison and see what they look like. And I really, really, really like the colors of the VGC radio.
They're actually really good. They really pop well. I was shocked when I opened up the blue one, and I'm like, I'm not gonna like this. This isn't a radio color. This doesn't make any sense. Like it's not a like an MCOM color, lose it in the grass kind of thing. And I was like, wow, this actually looks really good.
Yeah. Mike's set at Hamcation was like the desert tan color, which I love desert tan, and I was like, oh, dude, I need a desert tan radio. That thing is cool, really, really cool looking. So. But the red I have the Waxon Q10H quad band radio, and mine's red. So I have that radio in red. But well, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate everyone being here tonight. Thanks for those who hung with us till the end. And we will be in touch this week. Send me a WinLink message, KC5HWB. Really appreciate you guys conversing with me on WinLink. Go ahead, Steve.
Vic's asking real quick, what's the full model number of that radio? This is the Vero VRN76, and the one that Jason has is the exact same radio made by the exact same company with different firmware on it, and that's called the BTEC, Baofeng Tech UV Pro.
Yes, the UV Pro. And I said I was going to go get you guys a... I have a link to the UV Pro where you can... and a coupon code. I have a link. In fact, you know what? It was in my email today. If you're not a member of my email list, hamradio2.com/email-sign up, I sent a link to the UV Pro with my 10% off or $10 off. I don't know. It's either 10. I think it's $10 off. $10 off coupon in that email. So go check that out. If you didn't get that, let me know. Hit me up in Discord or something. I'll send it to you. So, Guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Everyone have a good week, and we'll talk soon.
So yeah.
Later.
Bye.